The maid brings food for her daughter. When she calls her boss's son to eat, he gets angry and says, "I will not eat next to that girl." The maid gently says, "But she is my daughter. What's the problem?" The spoiled boy shouts, "The problem is that she doesn't live here, and I don't want to sit at the same table with her." The maid says, "There is only one table. You'll have to sit here." The boy screams, "No, I said I won't sit. Make her move away from the table." The maid says, "Why are you talking like this to me and my daughter?" The boy replies angrily, "Because you are just a maid, and she's a poor girl." Just then, the boy's father comes in and asks, "What's all this noise? What's happening here?" The maid says, "Nothing, sir." The spoiled boy says, "Dad, she wants me to eat with that poor girl." The father says, "Okay, but what's wrong with that?" The boy replies, "I don't want to eat with her." "Make her go away, Dad." The father says to the maid, "Please let your daughter eat on the sofa." The maid says, "Yes, sir." She takes her daughter from the dining table and sits her on the sofa to eat. But the spoiled boy says again, "Why is she eating on the sofa? She should eat on the floor." The maid sadly moves her daughter to the floor and feeds her there. The spoiled boy smiles proudly. The next day, the father says to the maid, "I want to say sorry and thank you." The maid replies, "Sorry, sir, but your son is very rude." The boss says, "He's still learning." The maid says, "No, sir, it's about his attitude. If you don't teach him now, he'll cause big problems when he grows up." Later, the poor girl is playing a game. The spoiled boy comes and snatches the remote. "This video game is mine," he shouts. The poor girl starts crying. Her mother asks, "Why are you crying, my child?" The girl says, "Mama, he's not letting me play." The mother hugs her and says kindly, "Don't cry, dear. I'll get you a new toy." The little girl goes back to her mom. Then the father says to his son, "Why did you do that? Why didn't you share? Playing together is more fun." The boy says, "Because I don't like her, Dad. She's the maid's daughter." The father asks, "Is that the only reason?" The boy answers, "Yes, I want to play with kids like me." The father says, "But she will come here every day because her mom works with me." The boy replies, "Then fire her. I don't want that girl in our house." The father says calmly, "All right, I'll fix this." He calls the maid and says, "You are fired. Pack your things." The maid starts crying, "What? But why, sir? What did I do wrong?" The man says, "You brought your daughter here even though you knew my son doesn't like her." The maid leaves crying, and the spoiled boy feels happy. The next day, the spoiled boy says, "Dad, all my clothes are dirty. Where are my clean clothes?" The father says, "When the maid was here, everything was clean, but you wanted her gone, so now wash them yourself." The boy says, "Me? But I don't know how to wash clothes." The father replies, "Then learn. I'm going to work." The boy asks, "Will I stay alone?" The father says, "Yes, that's what you wanted." The boy says sadly, "But I'm still a kid. I'm scared to stay alone." The father says, "All right, I'll take you somewhere." He takes his son to the maid's small house. The boy looks around and says, "I don't want to stay here." The father says, "Then stay alone at home. Your choice." The boy finally agrees, "Okay, I'll stay here." The father leaves him there. Actually, the father and the maid planned this together to teach the boy a lesson. Slowly, the spoiled boy becomes friends with the poor girl. They play together and laugh. He realizes he was wrong all along. When his father comes back to take him home, the boy is completely changed. He says sorry to his dad and asks the maid to come back to work. Moral: respect everyone, rich or poor. Kindness makes you truly rich.